Hey, what's going on, folks? The Creative Duelist here, and I've been making decks creative since 2016. Welcome, folks. Today I'm here with my UA deck profile. Got a lot of support from Phantom Rage. This deck is a lot more potent, a lot more powerful, especially with some of the new monsters, especially with a Libero Striker and some other cards that I will go over in this deck profile. So yeah, let's get right into it, folks. So starting off with the monster lineup, we've got the triple UA Libero Striker. This is the newest support for the deck. Very good card. You can special summon this card from your hand by bouncing one UA monster you control back to your hand. You can use that effect once per turn, and during your opponent's main phase, it's a quick effect. You can shuffle back one level 5 or higher UA monster back into your deck and special summon another UA monster from your deck with a different name than the one you shuffled back, and this card returns back to your hand. Really good, especially when you need to interrupt your opponent or get off like rebound, rival rebounder to get some advantage, or you can bring up the player manager to basically neg everything and become a skill drain and just negate all your opponent's monster effects. So it's pretty situational, but it's pretty good. I love it. It's just more interaction during your opponent's turn. Then I've got the triple UA midfielder, pretty standard. The level 4s are there to help us get off the UA stadium so we can search for more UA monsters. So midfielder is just another level 4. I like his other effect where during either player's turn, you can basically return back a UA monster from your field to the hand and special summon one with a different name than the one that was bounced. Pretty good card and pretty good effect. Onto the newest card, we got Player Manager. This card is amazing, so we play triple of this. I see people playing 2 is fine, but 3 is just so good. It has an interesting summoning effect, where if you normal or special summon a UA monster, you can special summon Play Manager from your hand. And also, if he's special summoned, you can activate one of the following effects. You can blow up a card on the field, and you can negate the effects of all face-up effect monsters on the field until the end of the turn, except for UA monsters, which is very good. This is basically a skill drain for the turn, and it shuts down your opponent, especially if you go first. Got double Perfect Ace just to negate stuff. Very good. I've always liked playing Perfect Ace at 2. Block Backer, he's like a lose one turn, so he's really good against like if you open this first and your opponent like needs to special summon a monster from the extra deck, except for Lynx, he will negate it and put it in defense. So Block Backer is good in that situation. Rebounder is just for advantage. A Goalkeeper is to protect your UA monster from being destroyed by card effects during your opponent's turn. Got one Dreadnought Dunker. This card is amazing as well with a Power Jersey. If this card inflicts battle damage, you get to basically blow up a card on your opponent's field, and it also does piercing, which is very nice. Really nasty with Power Jersey, because then you can FTK your opponent and do a chunk of damage. And then one Mighty Slugger. I remember when we used to play 3 of this or 2 of it. Slugger is just there to help us push for damage. He makes our play safe. He's literally like a juggernaut for the deck, unstoppable. Your opponent can't activate anything when you declare an attack with Slugger, so it just beats. He counters decks that are like Helmety, or just decks that like to play a lot of back row. And for the last of the monsters, in terms of just the hand traps, got the double Ash Blossom and double Veiler. I do apologize, they're in different sleeves. It's because they're in other decks and I didn't want to take them out. But yes, that is going to round up the monster lineup, folks. Alright, onto the spells. I've got the triple UA Hyper Stadium. This card is amazing, works well with FAs as well. So when you activate this card, you get to search for any UA or FA monster from your deck to your hand, or you could search for the UA Stadium from your graveyard, so you can recur it back to graveyard. Sorry, recur it from your graveyard back to your hand if you want to recycle it. Doesn't come up too often, because usually our UA Stadium is very recyclable because of that effect. Also, you can reveal a field spell from your hand or pay 1,000 life points, and it lets you normal summon an additional UA or FA monster from your hand. So it gives you a double summon, which is pretty nice. Definitely a really good card. The best, probably a really good support field spell for the deck. Then triple UA Stadium. When you normal summon a UA monster, you get to search for any UA monster. If you special summon a UA monster, all your monsters gain 500 attack points. Very good. Helps to beat over monsters. Then triple UA Signing Deal. We technically played 10 UA midfielders and Lero strikers, because Signing Deal lets you special summon any UA monster from the deck, and you pay life points depending on its level, but usually you're going to bring out like the level 4 monsters because the deck bricks if you don't open up midfielder or Lero striker. So triple Signing Deal. One Locker Room. This card's decent, really good, especially if you brick, because if you draw too many like big UA monsters, you can't do anything with them in hand, so Locker Room kind of just helps that issue. And then one Power Jersey. I might play a second copy. Power Jersey is so busted. If you get this off, you can essentially FTK or OTK your opponent with the right monster. Your UA monster equipped gains 1,000 attack and defense. If it battles an opponent's monster, any damage that is inflicted on your opponent is doubled. Especially with Dreadnought Dunker, he does the piercing, so you will inflict double the amount of damage and get the bonus of popping something. Really good. Then one Turnover Tactic. This card is amazing because if you control 2 or more UA monsters with different names, you can shuffle as many monsters on the field as possible into the deck and then special summon UA monsters from your deck that have different names from each other, up to the number of cards shuffled into the main deck. But those monsters cannot attack the turn, which isn't really a problem. This card is more of usually use this during your opponent's turn. Then your opponent can special summon monsters from the deck to the number of cards shuffled into the main deck. At first glance, on paper, this card doesn't look so good because it lets your opponent special. It looks like a fair card, but it actually isn't, because if your opponent has nothing but extra deck monsters, so let's say you're playing against a link-based deck and you flip this during your opponent's turn, you bounce back your UA monsters, you bounce back all their link monsters, they get nothing. They can't special anything. You plus, because they're from the extra deck, they're not from the deck. So this card is so good. And that's going to round up the UA spells, I believe. Then we got triple Foolish Burial Goods. This is just to help us send off the UA penalty box. Then double Desires, double Pinpoint Landing. This card's amazing because we do bounce and special summon a lot, so it's nice to get that extra draw power. One Reborn and one Reinforcement to round up the spell lineup. Alright, let's go round up the spells. Traps. Triple Penalty Box. I know people play 2, but I love 3 Penalty Box. I like the value of having 1 on field just to banish an opponent's monster, or just 1 Engrave to banish to search for our UA spells. And then the rest of the traps, I just play the Grandpa package. Pretty standard. And that's going to run up the whole main deck, extra deck, and the whole profile. Now you're probably scratching your heads why I'm not playing an extra deck. I'm not against playing an extra deck. You're more than welcome to play extra deck. You can play some links. You can play the Unicorn, the Nightmare package. So you can play like, was it Phoenix, Cerebus, Unicorn. You can also play some more. You can play some rank 4s. The reasons why I don't really play any extra deck in this deck is purely because the deck alone puts in work. It's like, it reminds me of Cosmos. It's like the deck, the main deck puts in so much work. It's like the extra deck isn't really necessary. You can play stuff, I guess, to kind of contribute or like compensate, but I didn't feel I needed to play an extra deck. I remember in my older builds, I never really liked playing an extra deck. I played one just for the sake of showing some suggestions. But yes, it doesn't matter. You can play extra deck or you can choose not to. The choice is yours. But yes, folks, Creative Duelist signing out. Peace.